gotten around to it yet." Grandpa motioned to a shelf full of geraniums across the room. "You can do that now if you like." "Sure, Grandpa." Rachel had fertilized plants before, so she knew just what to do. She hurried to the back room and took out the bottle of liquid fertilizer. She squeezed several drops into a jug of warm water, carried it into the other room, and began the process of fertilizing the plants. She'd only gotten a few of them done when the bell above the greenhouse door jingled and Mom stepped in. Her forehead was wrinkled, and she didn't look one bit happy. "Jacob said you didn't do your homework or any of your chores before you came out here," she said, peering at Rachel over the top of her metal-framed glasses. Rachel swallowed hard. I was planning to do them later, after I finished helping Grandpa in the greenhouse." Mom slowly shook her head. "You know you're not supposed to come out here until your homework and chores are done. When are you going to grow up and start acting more responsible, Rachel?" Rachel's cheeks felt like they were on fire as she stared at the floor and struggled not to cry. She didn't like it when Mom scolded her. It made her feel like a baby. I just like being here so much, and I know you like being here." Mom's voice softened a bit. She touched Rachel's chin, raising it so Rachel could look at her face. "However, schoolwork and chores come first. After those things are done, you can work in the greenhouse. Is that clear?" "Yeah," Rachel mumbled. "What was that?" "I said, yeah, Mom." Grandpa stepped forward. "Rachel was in the middle of fertilizing some plants for me, Miriam. Is it all right if she finishes them and then goes up to the house?" Mom nodded. Then she turned to Rachel and said, "Oh, by the way, I was changing your little sister's diaper, when you and Jacob got home from school, so that's why there was no snack waiting for you. You can have some cookies and milk while you do your homework." Rachel shook her head as she poured fertilizer onto another plant. "I ate a banana while I was walking out to the greenhouse, so I'm not really hungry." Mom turned toward the door. "All right then, I'll expect to see you at the house in a few minutes." She stepped out of the greenhouse, and the bell above the door jingled when the door closed behind her. "I guess I should have asked if you'd done your homework and chores before I put you to work out here," Grandpa said to Rachel. "Next time, I will ask." Tears burned the backs of Rachel's eyes. Grandpa didn't trust her anymore. He probably thought she was a baby, too. "I like working for you in the greenhouse more than doing chores or homework," she said. Grandpa touched Rachel's shoulder. "I'm sure you do, but there's one thing you should always remember." "What's that?" "The Bible teaches us to do whatever we do as if we are doing it for the Lord," Grandpa said. "Really?" Grandpa nodded. "If you remember that, you will find it easier to do the things you don't enjoy so much." Rachel smiled, wondering if she'd ever be as smart as Grandpa. When Rachel returned to the house, she found Mom peeling potatoes at the kitchen sink. "Is it time to start supper already?" Rachel asked. Mom shook her head. "Not quite, but your little sister might wake up from her nap soon, and then I'll be busy feeding her. So I thought it would be a good idea if I started preparing supper early." She glanced at Rachel over her shoulder. "It's always good to stay ahead of things." Rachel nodded. "Should I do my homework first or start on my chores?" "You'd better do your chores first. Now that summer's over, it gets dark earlier than before." "Okay. What chores do you want me to do?" Rachel asked. "Let's see now. Jacob is cleaning the chicken coop, which I was going to ask you to do before you went out to the greenhouse." Rachel wrinkled her nose. Cleaning the smelly chicken coop was not her favorite thing to do. She was glad Jacob had been asked to do it this time. Mom held the potato peeler out to Rachel. "If you'd rather do an inside chore, you can finish peeling the potatoes while I take the dry clothes off the line." Rachel frowned. The last time she'd peeled potatoes, she had nicked her finger.